era when no retailer can afford to stand still, changing the supply chain operations of the largest non-food retailer in the UK is a significant project. Owned by GUS, Argos fills the #1 retail slot outside grocery and is also the top retailer for toys and small electrical appliances. This represents around 150 million items a year, sold through over 550 stores spread around the UK and Republic of Ireland and online. Indeed, 98% of the UK population now live within 10 miles of an Argos store.
In early 2001, Argos carried out a fundamental review of its supply chain, and what it concluded was that unless substantial change was made in the supply chain, it would become a constraint to the future growth of the business. And that means change not only in terms of new capabilities, but also cost efficiencies. Some of the challenges the business was facing at the time arose from growth. Growth in sales, for example. Since 2001, the business has grown by over 40% to nearly £3.5 billion of sales. But also growth in terms of the number of channels we're trying to operate. Now nearly 20% of our sales go direct to home. And also growth in choice. In Spring/Summer 01, we had about 8,700 lines in our catalogue, and now that's nearly a massive 13,000 in the catalogue we've got out today. And in fact, in a pilot which we're calling Argos Extra, which is a new store format, we've got nearly 16,000 product lines. One of the things we've had to deal with is increasing competitiveness in our markets. And what that means is increasingly competitive prices in many of our core areas. I mean, a good example is consumer electrical, where we as consumers have got used to the fact that the prices of TVs, DVDs and videos continue to fall for us. Now Argos has been responding to that by going directly to source and direct importing many of these product categories so that we can pass on some of the cost savings to our customers. In May 2001, the GUS board approved an investment of £140 million to transform the Argos supply chain. Now this programme covered three main areas. The first was improvements in sourcing and the performance of our supplier base. The second was new capabilities in planning the end-to-end supply chain and a much leaner approach to moving stock through to the customer. And the third area was restructuring of the physical distribution network to provide better cost efficiencies and supply assurance.
Yet Argos had never embarked on a supply chain project of this scale and complexity. So the company looked for outside expertise in analysing its physical distribution network in detail and delivering an effective solution. Argos turned to top supply chain consultancy, the logistics business, to provide the combination of strategic logistics insight and practical implementation.
The logistics business started working with us in late 2000, and Vanderlande came on board in early 2001. With such a large change agenda, it was vital that we picked strong partners with substantial experience in this kind of programme to enable us to deliver successfully without impacting on the day-to-day business. The logistics business brought us real track record in automated warehouse design, and we liked their practicality. At the beginning, they helped us with design and managing the tendering operation, and since then they've had an active role in ongoing contract management.
The early work included validation of centralised distribution and introduced the concept of totes in the Argos supply chain for the first time. Next came the outline specification for a new Central Distribution Centre, or CDC, for small items, confirming the suitability of basing this along with the Centre for Direct Imports, or CDI. Initially, work centred on the analysis of requirements, including the use of the iFlow model developed by the logistics business. iFlow analyses throughput and storage requirements for a distribution centre and predicts how they will change as the business grows and develops in the future. It was used to break down the general requirements of the operation into specific flows and processes, which formed the basis for final Vanderlande designs. At the same time, Argos's property department set about finding a suitable site that had to cover 30 acres. The site chosen was Barton-under-Needwood in Staffordshire. Situated near Burton-on-Trent, this choice benefits from a central Midlands location and excellent transport links. Labour availability was also important, as the plans were for 24-hour operations. After effective designs were received from 4 major system integrators, Vanderlande Industries were chosen as the provider for the sophisticated handling and storage system at the heart of the new central distribution centre.
Vanderlande won the tender for the mechanical handling system in August 2001. They showed a good understanding of our business requirements, and their solutions gave us the best overall return on investment. Both parties were able to fit in quickly with the culture and the approach of the Argos team, and a partnership approach has been vital to seeing us through the challenges of commissioning and startup.
Work then started on turning this plan into an effective operation that would deliver the promised benefits and form the focal point of Argos's distribution operations for many years to come. Through senior consultant Clive Weston, the logistics business has been the engineer on the project from beginning to end, acting as Argos's warehouse engineering and design specialist. With considerable experience of major automation projects, from design to hands-on implementation, the logistics business has worked closely with Vanderlande to ensure that Argos has made the most of its multi-million-pound investment. The new Argos Central Distribution Centre at Bazar was completed in 2003 and immediately started to provide improved logistics to the company.
One of the things about being a catalogue retailer is effectively the catalogue is an all-season promise of a product availability to the customer. It means we've got to be in stock with all of those products from the beginning to the end of the season. That's quite unlike other grocery and non-food retailers. And that's why assurance of supply, as well as our pick accuracy, is so important to our business.
Containers of directly imported goods are held in Argos's own container yard until ready to be fed into the CDI operation. Containers are moved when needed to an available loading dock, being input alongside direct deliveries. At Goods In, loose loaded products are not barcoded. Instead, as the product is unloaded, the Argos catalogue number on each carton is manually keyed in to the warehouse control system, part of the integrated solution from Vanderlande Industries. On average, there are only 2 SKUs per truck, and the operator only has to key in the new code when the item number changes. Once inducted onto the automated handling system, cartons are volume scanned to check product type against data held by the high-level warehouse management system. As well as confirming the load delivered, this allows the system to decide if the item is amongst the 70% that can be palletized automatically. Products that are not suitable for automatic palletization are directed via a hinged, luffing conveyor to a manual area at ground floor level. Products for automatic palletization are sorted by SKU into one of 27 lanes with a Vanderlande Industries POSI sorter system. Goods are automatically palletized. Then they can pass through a stretch wrapping machine, and a barcode is fixed to each pallet. From there, pallets are transported to the 90,000 capacity high bay for storage. In the high bay, 15 fully automated stacker cranes, including 2 for oversize items, reach to 27 meters in height. These provide up to 200 movements per hour. Product is called out in reverse order, passing through a dedicated high-level conveyor loop that directs pallets for dispatch, such as full pallet loads needed for regional distribution centres, to the dispatch area at ground floor level. Single SKU pallets to serve the small parts picking operation are directed to a tote filling area, where operators depalletize the stock and place it into tote boxes. Filled totes are routed through the warehouse to a mini-load store, with a capacity of 70,000 totes. The mini-load cranes chosen allowed the number of cranes to be reduced from 14 to 12, by managing 4 totes in each put-away or retrieval movement. This area holds stock ready for rapid supply to the advanced picking solution, where orders are assembled under the control of a pick-by-light system. The picking solution is undoubtedly a highlight of the Barton operation. It's faster, has more built-in error-proofing, and uses space, capital and labour more efficiently than any currently available alternative. The high throughput required by Argos would have required a substantial floor area for traditional zone picking. The Christmas peak could have also caused congestion in the zones. The traditional alternative for high throughput operations, batch picking and automated sortation, would have required massive investment and offered few economies during off-peak operation. The solution chosen is ODS, an evolution of the traditional goods-to-man picking technique. Developed by Vanderlande Industries specifically for operations that require a very high throughput of a relatively low number of SKUs. When a product is to be picked, the warehouse control system directs a product tote from the mini-load store onto one of the 2 conveyor loops that connect all of the order collection stations. These are the picking lines or streets of the ODS, positioned at 90 degrees around each loop. Each street accommodates 4 picking stations, with each station satisfying 12 orders simultaneously, and can be switched on or off to match operational needs. When a new product tote arrives at an order collection station, a screen shows the product details and indicates how many are to be placed in which order totes. The operator will pick up an appropriate number of items from the product tote and place them in the order totes mounted on an angled shelf above. To increase speed and accuracy, a display is illuminated below each order tote requiring that product, indicating how many are required. This is a put-to-light operation rather than a pick-to-light, as the lights control where the products are placed. Finally, at the consolidation area, the complete order totes are buffered at high level, in lanes that accumulate each store order. Completed lanes are released to the ground floor to be automatically stacked on dollies, then strapped and labelled robotically. The completed dollies are taken to a marshalling area for consolidation into truckloads. Finally, goods are loaded onto the Argos fleet for dispatch throughout the country. But the Barton site has another trick up its sleeve. The site also handles the awkward job of managing product returns quickly and efficiently.
Reverse flow is a commonly neglected area of the retail supply chain. There's lots of non-added value handling involved, and it consumes valuable supply chain capacity. We took the opportunity to co-locate our damaged returns operations at Barton and to automate some of the processes. That's given us benefits in terms of improved inbound transportation, and it's also enabled us to smooth some of the heavily seasonal work patterns in the centre. Our customers are increasingly responsive to promotions, and they're doing their Christmas shopping later and later. In this business, the Christmas peak is 3 to 4 times the level of our corresponding off-peak activity, and that's a huge mountain to climb for our operational teams. The site went live in August 2003, and then almost straight into a massive peak season with technology to settle in and a team fresh out of training. And that was an enormously stretching challenge for everybody involved. But we came through it well. What we're now focused on is consolidating all that learning and working through plans to get the most out of our investment going forward. Barton provides a focal point for the growing flow of direct imports into the business, and it's helped us to invest to remove much of the manually intensive handling that characterises this area. It's also provided us a way of handling the slow-moving tail of products that's generated by the growth of choice within the business. By taking the products which are small enough to be handled in totes, we've been able to automate much of that activity, and that helps compensate in terms of driving efficiency. We're already delivering substantially improved productivity as well as pick accuracy in this activity. There's plenty of hard work ahead, but we're confident that Barton will realise its goal of becoming the flagship site at the heart of the Argos distribution network and help to drive the Argos business further. With Barton as the hub of our Argos distribution network feeding out to all of the other sites, the RDCs within the network, the reliability and assurance of supply coming from this site is absolutely fundamental to our product availability in store.